So it looks a little strange to see the Brewers in red hats.
Yeah, particularly with the Cardinals in town. But everybody in the National League wearing the red hats.
Last year it was blue. This year it's red. Cardinals look right at home in their red caps. St. Louis losing yesterday to the Kansas City Royals. A close game, though. St. Louis lost 3-2. Their story has been pitching. They have been pitching very well here lately. Brock, the Cardinal pitchers went through a stretch of allowing just 1 run in 36 innings after the Brewers swept them in St. Louis.
And it's amazing when the big horse is back. Chris Carpenter. I mean, the Cardinals have been waiting all season long, kind of trying to tread water, but they did better than that. Even without Carpenter in the starting rotation, these guys outstanding. Starting rotation very good. You can see what they've done, virtually giving up no runs whatsoever.
Cardinals have won 5 out of 6 since being swept by the Brewers. Meanwhile, Milwaukee's dropped 3 in a row, and they have lost 4 out of 5. Schumacher slices one down the line. That is a foul ball. So when you add them all up, Rock, these two teams tied at the top of the division to start the day. 26 wins, 18 losses. Still two of the better records in all of the National League. Only the Dodgers have a better record than the Cardinals or the Brewers. The Dodgers are at 30-15. Philadelphia leads the National League East with a 24-18 record. A lazy fly ball to Braun. And one away, and that's how Giovanni Gallardo gets his afternoon started.
You know, although nobody is really talking about it then in that Brewer clubhouse, got to believe they're glad to be getting out of that Metrodome. The Metrodome was not very good to them, and not just the Metrodome, but I think the guys are really glad to be home. It was a rough trip, although they did have a winning road trip, but the travel was rough, including last night. So maybe an opportunity to get things back to normal.
Well, the roof is open today. Natural grass under their feet. And back in the home whites. After a tough series in Minneapolis, the road trip logged 5 wins and 4 losses. And Maka liked what he saw, although the Brewers enduring a number of injuries on the road trip. The loss of Ricky Weeks for the year. And of course, J.J. Hardy missing consecutive games with a back injury. Hardy expected to be back in the lineup tomorrow. We saw J.J. earlier throwing the baseball with head athletic trainer Roger Kaplinger, and he looked good. He looked like he was throwing the ball in a normal fashion, and we're all expecting J.J. to return tomorrow for game 2.
And those back spasms are something that J.J. battles from time to time throughout the year. Really no rhyme nor reason when they pop up. Now, Corey Hart had a hand problem. He missed the ball game, so hopefully the crew gets healthy again on this homestand.
Young Colby Rasmus, 22-year-old rookie. He was hitting down in the order when the Brewers were in St. Louis, batting second here today, and he draws the walk with 1 away.
Well, Giovanni has had some problems from time to time locating his pitches, but that fastball looked pretty good. Chad Fairchild, today's home plate umpire, calling it off the plate.
So Gallardo against Albert Pujols here in the first inning with a runner on. Pujols has been pretty much isolated here lately, although he still leads in a number of categories in the National League. First in runs, first in intentional walks. 3 of those came in the Kansas City Royals series. Pujols was walked 7 times in that series. And with injuries to key players like Ryan Ludwig and Troy Gloss, teams have been pitching around Albert Pujols.
And you hope that the Brewers are going to be in a position to be able to do that. They weren't in a position to do that much over the weekend. I'll tell you, Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau absolutely wore out the Brewers. You can't allow Albert to do the same in this 3-game series.
That one skips away from Kendall. And that almost guarantees a walk to Pujols with a base open at first. So a wild pitch allows Rasmus to second base.
And they got to keep the baseball down with Pujols at the plate. That one a little bit too low.
One thing we noticed from Pujols in the last series in St. Louis, very un-Pujols-like. He was starting to swing at pitches out of the strike zone a great deal. Maybe feeling a little bit of the pressure to continue to contribute with some key injuries in their lineup. Gallardo misses inside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, with a lot of the big boppers out of the lineup. Rick Cankill is back, but he's not in the starting lineup. Ludwig is supposed to be back on Friday when the Cardinals go to San Francisco. Pujols trying to do it all by himself.
And he won't chase a 3-1 breaking ball. So Pujols walks. And 2 on for Gallardo to start it here. He'll face Chris Duncan. Giovanni was not sharp his last time out against the Astros. He pitched against the Cardinals last Friday. That was the game that got rained out. Gallardo pitched 2 innings in that game and then did not come back in what you would call a side session. He did not come back like Kyle Lohse did. So it was really about 10 days between official major league starts, and he was not sharp against Houston.
Now, really, his last 2 starts, his start on May 9th against the Cubs and that recent start against the Astros, high pitch counts, only 5 innings in each start, and 94 pitches his last time out, 105. That's very unusual for Gallardo. He's usually very efficient, particularly fastball location. Been an issue for him his last 2 times.
And it's those high pitch counts that had Ken Maka skipping Gallardo in the rotation and not bringing him back a couple of days after that initial start in St. Louis that was wiped out. All the statistics in that game were wiped out as well. So no earned runs charged to Gallardo. Bill Castro, the Brewers pitching coach, keeping a close eye on his young prodigy. Gallardo has thrown over 100 pitches in every start this year, with the exception of his last start in Houston. He went 94. Duncan breaks his bat. And it's Counsell who makes the call and the catch for out number 2.
Now, the one thing you have to be careful of when you talk about Gallardo is you can't expect too much of him. He is a young kid. He missed most of last year, so he doesn't have that many innings under his belt. I think when you see him out there on the mound, you expect perfection, and that's a lot to ask. That's unfair. So he's going to go through some struggles from time to time, but he'll snap out of it.
Well, 19 pitches here in the first inning so far, 2 outs, and here's a good young hitter in Nick Stavinoa, another rookie. There was one game in that Brewers Cardinals series last week where the Cardinals had 4 rookies in their starting lineup, and 11 rookies have played for the Cardinals this year, the most in the majors.
And that's not something that Tony La Russa is used to. Ordinarily, Tony La Russa has veteran ball clubs. With injuries and things like that, he's forced to have a young club. He hasn't done that too much.
Yeah, Tony La Russa's always got the rap as being tough on rookies, and he was quick to point out that he made it easy for Albert Pujols. Oh, Gallardo brings one down. What a play by Giovanni Gallardo. Saves a run. Cat-like reflexes from the Brewer pitcher. Boy, that's an athlete right there, folks. Great play. Gallardo stabbing a line drive from Stavinoa. There's Ken Maka, glad to be back home. Some friendly faces here at Miller Park. Maka's Subway lineup: Council, McGee, and Braun at the top of the order. Fielder, Cameron, and Gamble in the middle. And the bottom three: Corey Hart, Jason Kendall, and Giovanni Gallardo, facing the former Cy Young Award winner Chris Carpenter.
And the Piggly Wiggly scouting report throws everything for strikes. This guy pounds the strike zone 4 different pitches. Good command. North, south, east, and west. That means in and out, up and down. Very good for him. And his second time back after being on the disabled list. About 80 to 90 pitches here today.
Well, Carpenter has yet to allow an earned run this year. He was hurt in his second start for the Cardinals, so thus he's made only 3 starts this year. He was down with an oblique injury for about 5.5 weeks. But it has been a long, injury-filled road back for Chris Carpenter. Only starter who has not allowed an earned run at this point in the Cardinals rotation. He's been very good. He's won twice. Had Tommy John ligament replacement surgery in 07. Had a second elbow surgery in the winter of 08 to replace a nerve. So he's had his fair share of elbow issues, but he says he's healthy, and he certainly pitched like it his last time out.
Well, no denying how good this guy can be when he is healthy.
Starts it with a strikeout on Craig Counsell.
That's the cut fastball. He's going to throw an awful lot of those pitches. The cutter, a four-seamer. He'll sink it as well. A changeup. And catching plenty of the plate to get Counsell.
Casey McGee bats with one away. McGee's been swinging the bat very well and making the most of his opportunities at playing time. Casey had a hit yesterday. Second straight day McGee's batted in the 2-hole. It's always a good spot in the lineup, hitting in front of Braun and Fielder. McGee was 1 for 4 yesterday to raise his batting average to an even 300.
Well, he's showing the Brewers pretty much all of his pitches so far in the first 2 hitters. A cutter, four-seamer, curveball. Very good command of all of them.
Carpenter's always been very economical on the mound. It took him only 67 pitches to go 5 shutout innings against the Cubs in his return back on the 20th of May.
Well, he's got a lot of poise out there in the mound. He works quickly. His defense likes that, that's for sure. Yeah, with this guy back in rotation, an already very good starting rotation gets better. The Cardinals coming in at 2nd in the National League in team earned run average.
And another called strike 3. Boy, Carpenter with pinpoint command here early. Back-to-back strikeouts. No need for defense just yet. Duncan, Rasmus, and Stavinoa in the outfield. Couple of rookies out there in Rasmus and Stavinoa. Thurston, Ryan, Schumacher, and Pujols around the horn with Yadier Molina, the Gold Glove catcher of the Cardinals, catching Chris Carpenter. And Taco Bell, who's hot, Ryan Braun against the Cardinals this year. He's 4 for 10, has 6 runs scored. Braun starts the day with 8 home runs and 31 driven in, and a .333 batting average. And another strike from Carpenter.
That Brewers had a tough time in that Metrodome. You know, we talk about it when every time you go into that place, you go there once a year. Tough to see, tough to get acclimated. Certainly guys weren't swinging the bats all that well. Good to be home. Good to see the sun out. Everything opened up back at Miller Park.
The hitters were glad the roof was open today. Saw our Firestone leaderboard up above. The Brewers with 53 team home runs. Second in the National League to the Phillies, who went into Yankee Stadium and made it their own, as most teams are doing this year. The Phillies hit a ton of home runs in that series.
Yeah, what's new?
Braun trying to get Fielder to the plate in the first inning. And that breaks his bat. Shortstop Brendan Ryan makes the call and the catch, and a 3-up, 3-down inning. 13 pitches for Chris Carpenter in the first. Milwaukee. Temperature in the mid-60s. The roof is open. At our carsoup.com email the booth question: who is the fastest player on the Brewers? Claire from Racine wants to know, and Rock's not part of that group, never was, but always a good study. Now, last year they actually ran the 60-yard dash, and Corey Hart clipped Ryan Braun by a 100th of a second, I believe it was. Billy Hall's up there.
Yeah.
So Hart, Braun, Billy Hall, Ricky Weeks while he was here. Those guys are all about the same.
I think Ricky and Corey, I think, were the two fastest last year. Were they not? Was Billy up there?
Billy was up there. And Braun. They ran 60-yard dashes last year. And that's kind of how baseball scouts measure speed. I don't know why 60 yards is the number or where that started, but in the 60, Braun and Corey Hart and Weeks and Hall all ran 6.5 60s.
Well, you never run 60 yards straight. You might run 60 yards, but you're making left turns the whole time. So whatever. It's kind of a barometer to see how fast you are.
Probably something Branch Rickey came up with back in the day, and then it just became, that was the line. That's what they did.
Set in stone.
That's right. Branch Rickey, the father of the farm system, had a long affiliation with the Cardinals. Yadier Molina bounces to Gamble, and his first throw is a good one. And that's always something to watch with Matt Gamble, who is improving defensively but still has some questions. And it's those kind of plays.
He's got a hose. I mean, he's got a very good throwing arm over at third base. Sometimes he takes a little bit too much time. I mean, the more time I think that he has to make his throw, the better chance he has to throw one away. But when he's quick with it, he's pretty good.
Gamble making his second start at third base this year. He was called up just before the Brewers left on that long road trip. Did get an at-bat in the final game of the homestand, but his first real look here at Miller Park this year.
Yeah, hasn't played defensively since that Cardinal series at Busch.
Joe Thurston chases one, and it's 0-2. Thurston playing just about every day at third base for the Cardinals now, in the absence of Troy Gloss, and a little over anxious at the plate. Thurston at .231 for the year, does have a homer, and he's driven in 14. Ooh, good pitch, just missed.
Yo wants that one. You got to believe Jason Kendall's maybe making a comment or two to Chad Fairchild. You wouldn't know it. He's got his eyes forward, but he threw a pitch like that in the first inning.
Down he goes. Gallardo comes right back with a fastball.
Well, if you're not going to get anything on the outside corner, try the inside corner. That worked out much better. Just missed off the edge outside. That one inside, right on the inside corner. A beauty by Yo.
First strikeout for Gallardo. And 2 outs in the inning. Don't forget, Fox Saturday Baseball, the Dodgers and the Cubs from Wrigley. 3 p.m. Central on Fox. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. Dodgers are playing great baseball right now. Even without Manny Ramirez, they continue to set the pace in all of baseball record-wise. And of course, the best record by far in the National League. Guess who has the best record in the American League, partner?
Toronto Blue Jays.
The Texas Rangers.
They surpassed the Blue Jays.
26-17, the Texas Rangers. Go figure. Mike Maddox doing a great job down there. Take a timeout. 3 up, 3 down for Gallardo. The Brewers coming up. Big Prince leads off. Here at Miller Park, Cardinals Brewers game 1. Well, not much by way of offense last night, but Fielder did have a late home run last night, his 10th of the year off Scott Baker. Twins swept the Brewers, but Prince now with 10 homers and 42 runs batted in with that long ball to left field, and the Powerball home run leaderboard has Fielder at the top of the list. Cameron also homered yesterday, his 250th career home run, and the Brewers have hit 53 as a team this season. Fielder leads the way here in the second against Carpenter. Fielder, Cameron, and Gamble. Carpenter retired the side in order with 2 called strikeouts in the first.
You know, your question last inning was a trick question.
Oh, is that right?
You
mean the Texas Rangers?
Texas Rangers, they have the best winning percentage, but the Blue Jays have the most wins. Just to clarify, but you're right. Texas Rangers playing some pretty good baseball.
Toronto has 27 wins. The Rangers with 26 wins, but a .605 winning percentage. I knew I'd get you on that one. It's okay.
You know, Toronto with the most wins in the American League, and they're second in the National League Eastern Division behind Boston.
That's right. Played 1 fewer game than the Red Sox. Blue Jays have lost 6 straight games. It's the longest losing streak of the American League as Fielder goes down swinging. In the National League, the Cubs have lost 7 in a row.
Yeah, Padres handled them pretty good. Boy, that overhand curveball, pretty good pitch by Carpenter. He's got it all working so far. It's amazing how you can have such good command after being on the disabled list so long. Not just this year. He really hasn't pitched much since '06.
Cameron makes contact. And a fair ball, and it ends up as an easy out. 1 pitch to Cameron. 2 up and 2 down here in the second inning for Carpenter. Tony La Russa said as much about Carpenter, a guy who missed 5.5 weeks. He comes back and only needed 67 pitches for 5 shutout innings. He struck out 4 against the Cubs his last time out. He was amazed at how healthy he looked and how much command he showed with all of his pitches.
That's why the Brewers, you would think if he's on a strict pitch count, 80 to 90 pitches, you might go up there and take. Make him work a little bit, but the way he handles his strike zone with all of his pitches, got to be careful.
Well, Matt Gamble had a milestone against the Cardinals, his first career Major League homer against St. Louis on that last road trip. Gamble hit a 3-run home run against the Cardinals that day, and it proved to be a big home run. Gave the Brewers a 4-0 lead at the time. That was back on Monday, a week ago. Gamble strikes out, and Carpenter is red hot to start. 6 up, 6 down with 4 punch-outs. We head to the third at Miller Park. No score. Wisconsin is presented by Blaine Farm and Fleet. You'll always find value at your local Farm and Fleet. By Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig and save. And by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin.
Hey, follow the Brewers on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com. At Bat 2009 featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Go to Brewers.com.
Gallardo back on the mound to start his third inning of work. Has retired 5 in a row. He walked back-to-back hitters in the first inning. Rasmus and Pujols, the only base runners so far for either club. Carpenter has retired 6 straight with 4 strikeouts. Brendan Ryan batting in the 9-hole for the Cardinals. La Russa, as usual, batting his pitcher 8th. Gallardo looking for his 5th win of the year. 4 wins and 2 losses on the season so far for Giovanni. His wins came against the Giants, the Astros in that complete game victory back in April, the Pirates, and the Cubs. Three and 2.
You see Giovanni, at least the first time through the batting order for the Cardinals, he's really trying to establish that fastball. Hasn't thrown too many breaking pitches for strikes. He's thrown a few sliders, but most of the time it's been fastball. You remember back in that start against the Astros where he threw that complete game, that curveball was such a good pitch for him, and since that time he really hasn't had the command of it that he did that night.
Full count to Brendan Ryan, and he pops it up. One away for Gallardo, and back to the top of the order. Gallardo wearing Teddy Higuera's old number 49. History's biggest hit is back. Don't miss the sneak peek. Ice Road Trucker. One out for Skip Schumacher at the top of the Cardinal order. And like it is with most batting orders, it's imperative that the top of the order get on base for the sluggers, but especially so with the St. Louis Cardinals. Schumacher off the end of the bat. Easy play for McGee. 2 up and 2 down.
Well, it's important for those guys to get on for Tony La Russa's lineup, because if they don't, you just walk Albert. That's one thing the Brewers really weren't able to do in Minneapolis. Twin Cities, seems like there was men always on base when Mauer and Morneau came up, and they made the Brewers pay dearly.
Yep. Two up, 2 down. Here's Colby Rasmus. Rasmus looks like a good young hitter. He's been with the big league club all season. His first season in the big leagues. He's 22 years of age. They felt like he handled it so well last year as a 21-year-old AAA player. They kind of felt like they threw him to the dogs last year just to see how he would fare at AAA. A lot of veteran players at the AAA level, but Rasmus at the tender age of 21 did so well that they felt comfortable giving him a shot here in the big leagues this year. And he's been playing a lot of center field lately, even with Ankiel back in the fold and off the disabled list. Ankiel was in the lineup yesterday, but La Russa had him in right field primarily because of Rasmus and his success.
He's got good speed. He covers a lot of ground in the outfield. Good arm, and still trying to understand the strike zone. He did walk his first time up today, but on base percentage around 310. That'll come.
Good fastball on the corner by Gallardo. Pujols would be next, and you'd love to have Pujols leading off the next inning.
Gardo has some pretty good pop on his fastball today. 92, 93, right on the corner.
2-2. Kendall sets up out there again. Had a swing and a miss. A 1-2-3 inning. Gallardo with 2 strikeouts. And he has now retired 8 straight. Brewers coming to bat. Hard. Now a bunch of kids having a good time today. Off from school on a beautiful Memorial Day in America's heartland. We take you back to that 1-0 victory the Brewers had against the Cardinals, and the only run of the game delivered by Corey Hart, who had a 2nd inning home run. The Brewers managing to win that game on only 2 hits.
Yeah, tremendous pitching performance by Jeff Suppan that afternoon. Jeff Suppan and the bullpen.
And the Brewers beat Adam Wainwright and the St. Louis Cardinals, part of a 3-game sweep in St. Louis. 2nd year the Brewers have swept in St. Louis. They took the Cardinals in a 4-gamer last year. Those 2 sweeps part of this current run, Rock, against the Cardinals, where the Brewers have won 10 of their last 11 games.
Yeah, no love lost between these 2 clubs. Brewers had such a good run on that last road trip going into Minneapolis. I mean, winning games that, really you would think that they could have very easily lost. And you had to figure they were due for a series like the one they had against the Twins. I mean, no team can continue to play that well for that long as they did.
Well, another strikeout for Carpenter. We check in with Telly Hughes on a player move today for the Brew Crew.
That's right. A lot of players, and this roster has been changed quite a bit since Ricky Weeks' injury. But today, Frank Catalanotto is in uniform and with the Brewers, and as R.J. Swindle was optioned back down to Nashville as the lefty, did come up doing interleague play and helped the bullpen out quite a bit with several innings pitched. But once again, Frank Catalanotto in the Brewers dugout as we speak, and he could be available if Ken Maka chooses to use him today.
It gives Ken Maka another lefty off the bench. Of course, Doug Melvin very familiar with Catalanotto, who has been around a long time, and certainly a guy that can swing the bat.
Yeah, almost a 300 career hitter. Catalanotto, about 3,700 at bats in his career. They say he can wake up on Christmas Eve.
Jason Kendall sends one deep to left. That makes a fly out. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I know. I knew you knew what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Hear it.
You can wake up on Christmas Eve and hit a couple of line drives, right?
You sound like a scout, man.
Yeah. Wait, Jason put a charge into that fastball out over the plate, nearly hit it out of here. That's what you used to say about Robin Yount. Because that's about where the comparisons end.
Here is Gallardo with 2 away. Well, Carpenter is streamlined today. Man, oh man, 32 pitches. Gallardo 4 hits, 19 at-bats this year, and a broken bat grounder to Thurston. And another quick inning for Chris Carpenter. 9 up, 9 down. He is mowing down the crew.
Prostate cancer screenings at Miller Park from 7 a.m. until 1 o'clock. That's on Thursday. The first 500 men 40 and over who complete the screening that day get a voucher for 2 free Brewers tickets. That's to any future game.
Folks enjoying the sunshine, soaking it up here today at Miller Park as the roof is open. Interesting, the panels are closed here this afternoon. Cuts down some of the wind. And Albert Pujols ready to lead off. Gallardo back on the mound. 3 scoreless innings thus far. Only blemish against him today, back-to-back walks to Rasmus and Pujols in the first inning. Pujols with his 34th walk of the year in the first inning. That's 3rd in the National League. He's behind Dunn and Fielder in that category, and he chased one there. That's what we're talking about. That's what we saw from Pujols that you used to never see from Albert Pujols in that last series.
Now you might see him swing at a pitch like that, maybe on a 0-1 count. But something happens to this guy when he has 2 strikes on him. He is a very good 2-strike hitter.
Gallardo coming inside, and a fastball that's hit in the air to center, playable for Cameron. Gallardo got in on his hands a little bit, which is a feat in its own, and 1 away here in the 4th. Leads us to our Aflac trivia question this afternoon. Prior to Chris Carpenter, who was the last Cardinals pitcher to win a Cy Young Award? One of the greatest of all time. We'll give you a hint. Carpenter won his Cy Young in 2005 and finished 3rd in 06. 06, the World Series championship year for the Cardinals. I was looking at the Cy Young voting that year. Brendan Webb won the Cy Young. Trevor Hoffman finished 2nd that year. And Carpenter was 3rd in 06. But he has been very much missed since. Started to struggle in 07. Had to be shut down. They thought it was just tendonitis in the elbow, but it was later found out he needed ligament replacement surgery. Carpenter had the Tommy John procedure in July of 07. And just now able to find his way back to the mound in 09.
Tell you, Yo's got some pretty good pop on his fastball today. 92, 93, but it seems as though it's got good finish. Finishing strong in the strike zone.
Late life. He's got Duncan down, a ball and 2 strikes. Didn't chase.
You know, his injuries to guys like Carpenter and Mulder, you know, guys in that starting rotation that gave opportunities, you know, to Braden Looper and Wainwright. They were relief pitchers, and you know, Dave Duncan, because of all the injuries, turned them into starters, and they've done pretty well.
Duncan down on strikes. A fastball that burns off the inside corner. And it's number 3 for Gallardo.
Yeah, he's got a good one today. Good command. One of the things we talked about on our Piggly Wiggly today, command of the fastball. He's got it. Not just command, but he's got good pop. Finishing nicely.
And the emphatic ring up by Chad Fairchild, who's going to get plenty of practice at that today with Carpenter and Gallardo. Just a reminder, today's broadcast in high definition. I invite you to enjoy the pictures. Check your local listings and your Time Warner Cable affiliates for your HD listings this afternoon. Our great crew here in Milwaukee. Great to see some friendly faces again. The best crew in all of baseball. Today's game being produced by Michael Vetter, directed by Michael Odino. Two and nothing on Stavinoa. 2-1. Stavinoa was promoted to the big leagues when Ryan Ludwig went on the disabled list. Ludwig scheduled to return later this week. Interesting to see what they do at Stavinoa. They like him as a hitter, and has always swung the bat well in the minor leagues. He's been a 300 hitter a couple of times in his career. In the big leagues, however, he is 6'4", 26. A .231 batting average. Yo's got him down 2-2. And he pops it up. Counsell staring into the bright sunshine, gives way to Braun, and that's it. 1-2-3. Gallardo rolling right along himself. Pitchers duel today at Miller Park.
It's Brewers Baseball Boot Camp presented by Piggly Wiggly. Baseball fans will have the opportunity to get a taste of what daily life is like for a professional baseball player. Participants will spend an entire day at Miller Park receiving instructions during the morning on fielding, hitting, and batting, followed by elimination games in the afternoon until a team is crowned a champion. The entry fee is $500. For more information, go to brewers.com/bootcamp, guys.
Boot camp, I like it. There'll be some sore hamstrings after that, you can bet. It's all right, it's part of it. Craig Counsell swinging at the first pitch. And a terrific play by Brendan Ryan. And that is 10 straight retired by Carpenter. Aflac. Back to our Aflac trivia. The last Cardinal to win a Cy Young Award, previous to Chris Carpenter's. And the Duck says Bob Gibson, 1970. The amazing Bob Gibson. He won 2 Cy Youngs. The one in '68, one of the best years in the history of baseball. He's 1.12 earned run average. That was the same year Denny McLain won 30 games in Detroit. The mound was high, and Gibson dominated like no other pitcher has dominated in the history of baseball for an entire season.
Well, one of the reasons why you see so much offense these days, after that season, I think baseball tried to do whatever they can to get offense back in baseball and lowered the mound to 10 inches. It was at 13 inches. The higher the mound, the easier it is for a pitcher to follow through the sharp break on their curveballs. And maybe it's time to go back to 13 inches.
Raise it back up. I'm all for it. I think it's great. I love well-pitched games. And at the time, the NFL was coming on fast in the late '60s. It was garnering a lot of publicity and popularity, and baseball decided they wanted some runs. Another bouncer to Ryan. 2 up and 2 down for Carpenter. Man, is he rolling along. Well, I want to invite you to help raise money for your favorite Brewers players charities during Brewers Charities Bobblehead Raffles. It's presented by Fox Sports Wisconsin. Sunday, May 31st, it's Trevor Hoffman Bobblehead Day right here at Miller Park. Visit Brewers Charities / Trevor Hoffman Raffle. You can visit the table anytime through the 4th inning or log on to the web at brewers.com/bobbleraffle. Kind of looks like him.
Standing there on one leg. Looks like a pelican, doesn't it? Flamingo? What is that? Flamingo? Knock him over easy.
Well, you can bet it'll be a sellout Sunday for that. Already had Ryan Braun bobblehead day here at Miller Park. A sellout crowd watching 2 pitchers just dominate right now. Carpenter's making it look easy. Another 1, 2, 3 inning. Carpenter 12 up, 12 down. Monday in Milwaukee. Giovanni Gallardo is matching Chris Carpenter almost pitch for pitch, Rock. He is pitching extremely well in his 9th start of the year.
Well, he hasn't had to use too many of his off-speed pitches. He's thrown a couple of very well-located curveballs, but other than that, it looks to be the fastball that he's had the most success with so far.
Gallardo has retired 11 straight. He gave up 2 walks in the 1st inning, back-to-back. Cardinals without a hit, the Brewers without a hit. Carpenter has retired 12 in a row.
as if these guys aren't throwing the baseball well enough, the shadows are going to start being a problem for these hitters.
Yeah, now it gets to the time of the day where it's tough to hit, actually. Yadier Molina, big cut.
You barely see Jason Kendall, the home plate umpire, back there. Now, it's not near as bad on the field as it looks on your television, but it's still kind of tough.
One and two the count to the Cardinal Gold Glove catcher Molina, who was hitting in the cleanup spot against the Brewers in that last series last week, making two Molinas in the cleanup spot. Yadier's brother Benji, the everyday cleanup hitter for the Giants. But that is not a spot where the Cardinals want their Molina.
Well, they say the shadows are the worst when the pitcher, the catcher, and the hitter are all in the shadows, and then your backdrop, your batter's eye is in the bright sunshine. That's when it's the toughest.
Little bouncer over to McGee. Well, Casey has certainly handled the position well at second base. Been impressed with McGee handling the routine plays.
Hey, Brewer fans, elect your favorite Brewers to the 2009 All-Star team. Vote early, vote often, and vote Brewers now through July 2nd at Brewers.com. All-Star game in St. Louis this year.
Well, the way Gallardo is pitching, he'll have a chance to end up in St. Louis. Off to a good start this season with 4 wins. One gone for Thurston. Thurston struck out looking his last time up. Gallardo got him with an inside corner fastball. That's been the big pitch today for Giovanni. He's had good command of his fastball against the Cardinals.
That changeup that time, one of the few that he's thrown.
I keep having to look back at my scorebook every time I see Gallardo in his red cap.
Yep, it's the Brewers.
Got me all messed up here. What inning is this, Rock? Oh, it's the top of the 5th. Cardinals are batting. Well, this is the man you want. Want to challenge him and then have a chance at a 1-2-3 inning with the pitcher Carpenter in the on-deck circle. La Russa still bats his pitcher 8th. He likes for the top of the order to have some more base running. Oh, Gallardo does it again. How about this guy? That's twice. Almost the exact same play that he had in the first inning against Stavinoa.
This one was a bullet, a rocket off of Joe Thurston's bat. He got good wood on that one. The one before, the one Stavinoa hit, broke his bat. Wasn't hit nearly as hard, but very good reflexes by Yo.
Well, our text question, courtesy of U.S. Cellular: who has the better bullpen? W for the Cardinals, X for the Brewers, and you can go to 234-234, provided by U.S. Cellular. We'll keep that going throughout the ball game today. Get interactive with us this afternoon. I got a good feeling which way that's going to go, but you know, we'll put it out there.
Yeah.
Gallardo has retired 13 straight. Carpenter is 0 for 5 this year, making only his 4th start of the season. And there's a fastball on the corner. 1-2 the count for Gallardo. Little bouncer. Counsell ranging over. A spin and a turn and a good throw. Nice play for Craig Counsell. Another 3-up, 3-down inning. Gallardo has retired 14 in a row in front of a sellout crowd. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. And to the bottom of the fifth we go. The Brewers coming up. Memorial Day here at Miller Park. A beautiful day for baseball. Not so much for the hitters at this point. Chris Carpenter has been perfect through the first 4 innings. 12 up, 12 down with 5 strikeouts thus far. Fielder, one of those strikeout victims, back in the 2nd inning. Meanwhile, Gallardo has not allowed a hit through the first 5 innings. He's given up 2 walks, and Giovanni with 3 strikeouts. Well, it was billed as the premier pitching matchup in all of baseball today, with Carpenter and Gallardo squaring off against each other, and it has not disappointed just yet. Carpenter is still not allowed an earned run this year. 19 innings on the books for him this season.
And if you're thinking about pitch counts, Carpenter in the 5th, only 44 pitches.
Wow.
Not good news for the Brewer hitters. I mean, one thing you want to do, as good as their bullpen has been, it's got to be better than that guy.
Fielder chops one out to Brendan Ryan. 13 straight retired by Carpenter. Take it back to last night. Mike Cameron, a milestone home run, Powerball home run number 250 for his career, and now joins an exclusive list. Only 20 players in the history of the game have at least 250 home runs and at least 250 steals. And there are some big time names on this list. Cameron's glad to be a part of it. Drives outward into center field. Rasmus makes the play on some wobbly knees. That ball was hit a little better than he thought. And it's out number 2.
Yeah, Cam really did a nice job squaring up on that one. Didn't try and pull it. Fooled Rasmus out there. We talked about his speed. He's got good instincts in center field. Able to recover and make the catch. Was there 4 guys active on that list that Cameron's on?
Yeah,
Soriano, Beltran, right? Sheffield.
And now Mike Cameron.
And Cameron. That's a pretty good list.
And A-Rod.
And A-Rod. 5. How can you forget A-Rod?
Well, you know, he's an American leaguer. Matt Gamble, his second at bat against Carpenter. Carpenter struck him out in the second inning. And he strikes him out here in the fifth. Yadier Molina secures it, and another 3-up, 3-down inning. Carpenter perfect through 5 innings. 15 up, 15 down, and he has 6 strikeouts. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By Airtran. Go. There's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. Gallardo back on the mound. We go to the 6th inning from Miller Park in Milwaukee. No score, no hits, no errors for either club. Nothing but zeros on the board so far today between Gallardo and Carpenter. Gallardo with 2 walks on his line, but since the walk to Pujols, which was the second consecutive walk in the first inning, Giovanni has retired 14 straight. Nine-hole hitter Brendan Ryan leading off for St. Louis.
Yeah, that second walk in the first inning is close to an intentional walk as you can get. Man at second, first base open, didn't want to throw Albert strikes.
2-1 to the Cardinals shortstop. And he goes, and it's 2-2. Yeah, back in the first, Colby Rasmus walked, and then Gallardo uncorked a wild pitch. Rasmus ended up at second base, and that pretty much made it easy for Gallardo against Pujols after that. The unintentional, intentional walk. Trying to see if Pujols would chase one. He didn't. And thus, the second consecutive walk.
Yeah, right now that's the strategy you have to incorporate. Anybody in the lineup but Pujols. You don't want that guy beating you. And in a game like this, it could be just one base hit. You got to be careful.
Little bouncer. And it's Counsell. Got a long throw and a speedy runner, and not in time to get Ryan. That's where the Brewers really miss J.J. Hardy. You know, as solid as Counsell is, it takes that extra special arm strength to get it out on a play like that.
Man, it looked as though Gamble might be able to get there. It kind of made a little confusion. Counsell looked like he was going to bump into Gamble, and as you mentioned, the arm strength not there. Not what J.J. Hardy possesses. Plus, you got to figure Counsell's got to be a little tired. I mean, he's been playing a lot. Got to get that guy back in there.
Hardy missing his 3rd consecutive game. The Cardinals have their first hit. An infield hit by Brendan Ryan. And to the top of the order now, and Schumacher. Boy, these are 2 key hitters for Giovanni Gallardo right here and now. Pujols hitting in the 3-hole, down in the hole.
Now, this is Craig Counsell's 5th consecutive start. That's not something he is accustomed to, or not something that the Brewers are planning on.
And it's not that Counsell doesn't want the playing time, but his role is to come off the bench. And at 38 years of age, it does take a toll when you're playing every day. Runner takes off, and a slap foul by Schumacher. La Russa putting the hit and run on there. That was the other side of the story in losing Ricky Weeks. Not only does it take away one of your best run producers in Weeks, great leadership in the clubhouse, but also forces Counsell into playing time. And so you lose one of your best and most productive hitters off the bench.
Yeah, Ricky was really igniting the Brewers offense. I mean, early on, first inning, a couple of leadoff home runs, and that's the way to get things going. That's a good curveball just off the corner. Not sure where that missed.
And now the ideal hit and run count at 2 balls and 1 strike. See if Ryan takes off. He stays put. Schumacher fouls it back. Gallardo is very good holding runners on and preventing stolen bases.
And he does it in a lot of different ways. He'll hold the ball. He'll quick pitch you once in a while. He just gave him the slide step. It all depends on what the count is and what the chances are that runner is going to take off to second base. That's the kind of move he'll give you.
So 2-2. Ryan looks like he wants to run at first. Stays put. Schumacher takes a ball. 3-2 the count.
That time he held the ball on Harris. Not only do you freeze the batter up there when you hold it like that, but you freeze the base runner. Kind of tighten up. He's going to be running here.
Kendall's been throwing the ball well this year, even though the stats don't show a lot of success. A lot of stolen bases off pitching. 3-2. And Gallardo checks on Ryan at first. St. Louis, a good stolen base rate. They're successful over 80% of the time. So they pick their spots when they run, and when they do, they're usually safe. As a team, they've only been caught 6 times this year. Ryan takes off, and a bouncer over to second. McGee is only played at first. And a 1 away. Well, time now for our Home Depot doing more on defense. Gallardo has done it on the mound, but he's also done it with his glove. He saved a run there and then stabbed a line drive from Thurston last inning. And all that starts with being in a good fielding position after you let the pitch go.
And both pitches on the outside corner. Now you leak that pitch down the middle of the plate, or you miss inside. I mean, that's a rocket down the left field line somewhere. But he's had good command on both sides of the plate so far.
Rasmus skies one. Cameron will make the call and the catch. And 2 outs, and Rock, an important out right there with Pujols on deck.
Man, now you can walk him. Now you can put him on first base, leave it up to Chris Duncan like they did back in the first inning. No way, no how you let Albert get some swipes at Gallardo with 2 outs and a man in scoring position.
Pujols staring into the Brewer dugout, almost daring Maka to pitch to him. Albert knows what's coming. So the intentional pass to Pujols. Pujols has been walked intentionally 12 times. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Brewers may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers.
This is the 12th intentional walk and 35th walk overall, so that kind of tells you that he doesn't walk much. He's only walked 100 times once in his career. This guy goes up there and swings the bat.
Well, Pujols is league leading 12th intentional walk. Manny Ramirez is second. Of course, Manny has been down for a while on that 50-game suspension. Ramirez not scheduled to return until July. So 2 on, and has been the case here lately. Chris Duncan steps up there with men on base. Cardinals are desperate for production in the spots behind Pujols. Duncan sharply out to short. Council's got it, and that's the inning. So St. Louis strands a pair. Giovanni gives up his first hit. Now the Brewers coming up.
If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a 2009 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Courtesy, not courtesy. Courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin.
Boy, having some fun up there at Amherst.
Okay,
sounds like you've spent a little time at Amherst recently.
Had a little fun in the booth. It is a holiday after all.
Well, Chris Carpenter, he is on a pitch limit of around 80 to 90, we were told, and you're thinking for most guys that's 5-6 innings maybe. Well, Carpenter is right around 50 pitches as we play in the 6th inning here, and he is quickly ahead of Corey Hart. No balls and 2 strikes. Those hitters who have lasted more than 2 pitches, it feels like it's been 0-2 all day.
That's the fine line you walk with a guy like Carpenter. You want to work the count a little bit because you know he's on that pitch count. You want to make him work, but you know if you take too many strikes early in the count, you're not going to get anything to hit. Against a guy like Carpenter, your first strike's ordinarily the best one to go after.
And another strikeout for Carpenter. That is 7 punch-outs. 16 straight retired by Carpenter. He's still perfect.
Here's that cut fastball that we've been talking about. The cutter has been a good pitch for him. The four-seamer away to a lefty and in on a righty. And his good curveball. He's also got that circle change. Haven't seen too many of those yet. So he still has a pitch that he hasn't used much. One of those guys that he'll get through a few times through the order. All of a sudden he'll pull out another pitch, making it very tough.
Jason Kendall down, no balls, 2 strikes. Carpenter has never had a no-hitter in his career. He came close during his Cy Young year in 05. When he was pitching against Toronto, his old ball club, when he went the distance in a 1-hitter. But he has completed games on 22 occasions. has 12 career shutouts as well. And most of the statistics and the superlatives for Chris Carpenter occurred prior to the 07 season. You know, 05 was his Cy Young year. 06 he finished third in the Cy Young voting. That was really when he was at his prime as a St. Louis Cardinal. The year he won the Cy Young Award, he was 21-5, and he threw 7 complete games that year. Kendall, a little flare, right field. They had him played perfectly. Stavanoa makes a catch for out number 2.
Man, you can see why he can come up with games like that. I mean, the complete game totals and low hit totals. Never really walks too many. I mean, coming in with 4 walks, only 15 innings, but still in all. Real good command of all of his pitches, and makes Dave Duncan look like a genius when he's out there on the mound.
So here is Gallardo. This game feels a lot like the Suppan Wainwright game. As you see, Carpenter's last 3 starts. There's 5.5 weeks between the Arizona start and the Cubs start. His last time out. Injured an oblique muscle in his second start of the year, had to come out of the game. 2 guys who know him well, Jeff Suppan and Braden Looper. Gallardo squirts one. It's run down by Schumacher. Man, oh man. Another 3 up, 3 down inning. Carpenter is perfect through 6. Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. And by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. A sellout here at Miller Park. Gallardo and Carpenter on their games here today. Carpenter is perfect through 6 innings. Meanwhile, Gallardo is getting up just the 1 hit. Hey, the Brewers have teamed up at Summerfest once again. A Terrace Reserve ticket to the Colorado Series. And you get a general admission ticket for Summerfest and a t-shirt voucher. For information, log on to the web, brewers.com/Summerfest, and say hi to our good buddy John Bowler. Always great to team up with Summerfest. Great summer traditions here in Milwaukee. Nick Stavanoa leads off for the Cardinals. Stavanoa, Molina, and Thurston. As Gallardo's pitch count is in the mid-90s right now. The only hit Gallardo has allowed, an infield hit by Brendan Ryan, which came to lead off the last inning. Gallardo has surrendered 3 walks, but 2 of those pitching around Pujols. And down goes Stavanoa. Gallardo punches another one out. That is number 4, and rocked 3 of those 4 strikeouts have been on called strike threes.
Yeah, right on the outside corner. He does have one on the inside corner, but you can't walk it across home plate any better than that. This is by far the best fastball that we've seen from Gallardo, and he's doing it predominantly with the fastball, not much else. Every now and again with 2 strikes he'll flip a curveball up there, but he's thrown a couple of change-ups, maybe a couple of sliders, a few of them in the first inning. A lot of fastballs today.
Yadier Molina swings at the first pitch. No balls and a strike. The free swinging Cardinal catcher at the plate. And he's down 0-2. Not the change in speeds with Gallardo. The first pitch 86 miles an hour, then he humps up 92 on the black.
Yeah, that 86 looked like it had a bit of a cut on it. Right out of the page of Chris Carpenter.
0-2 to Molina. Kendall sets up away. And a bouncer back up the middle. McGee knocks it down, throw to first. In time! What a play! Casey McGee.
I didn't think there was any chance to get the base runner. Then I forgot who was running down the line. The Cardinal catcher, not very fleet of foot. That's about the only guy in the Cardinal lineup that's not going to beat that out. Great play by McGee. Gets up quickly and throws a strike over to Prince. And the speed of Molina cost him a hit.
Terrific play by McGee. Knew he had time to get to his feet. McGee has the third baseman's arm. And he showed it off there. Boy, McGee saves a hit for Gallardo.
And that's all about knowing who's up there, what you're going to do with the baseball when you get it, before you have to think about it. I mean, he knew if I'm going to dive, I have time to get the out because we got the catcher up there. Somebody else, he might just put it in his back pocket.
He has been impressive filling in for Ricky Weeks, and he certainly earned his playing time.
Hey, fans, come out to Miller Park on Saturday as the Brewers take on the Reds at 6:05. First 15,000 fans 21 and older get a Miller High Life and Brewers cooler bag, compliments of Miller High Life.
So 2 balls and a strike on Thurston. 2 outs here in the Cardinals' 7th inning. An incredibly pitched game on both sides. Gallardo with a 1-hitter thus far. Carpenter is still perfect. If you're just joining us, Chris Carpenter of the Cardinals has retired every Brewer he's faced with 7 strikeouts. That one just missed. Thurston draws the walk.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. 2 outs, nobody on. Got behind Thurston. You got Carpenter on deck. Why not? Just put him on.
So Giovanni will face the Cardinal pitcher with a runner on. You know, on paper, you look at Gallardo's start today and it shows 4 walks and you say, well, there's some command issues there perhaps, but it hasn't been the case. Carpenter pops it up on the first pitch. And that will do it. So a scoreless 7th inning for Giovanni Gallardo. Well, it's Memorial Day here in Milwaukee. Let's turn it over to Rob Edwards, our public address announcer.
summary, not much offense. Matter of fact, no offense at all. Chris Carpenter on the top of his game. He's perfect through 6 innings with 7 strikeouts. I mean, everything working for him. The only base hit of the game given up by Giovanni Gallardo, who's also throwing a pretty good game here today. Giovanni's got four strikeouts, but 4 walks. The only base hit, an infield hit to Brendan Ryan. That was back in the 6th inning. So 1 hit through 6.5 so far here today at Miller Park.
And we hit the air talking about how well these two teams have pitched lately. And they're making it stand tall as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Carpenter has been very efficient. His Counsell bounces one through, the first base hit of the game. The perfect game ends as Craig Counsell, the wily old veteran, drills one through the infield.
Yeah, Counsell almost had a base hit back in the 4th inning. A nice play by Ryan. It's short. Throw him out, but Craig able to bounce one. A little bit of a shift on for Counsell. You can see Schumacher playing over toward the hole, not able to get there, so the Brewers have a leadoff base runner.
And now it's Casey McGee coming off a sparkling play at second base in the top of this frame. McGee up there to bunt. Ken Maka wants to advance Counsell into scoring position with Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder to follow.
That's a good move. You don't want to be banging into a double play. You got Ryan and Prince coming up. Get him into scoring position. Casey's got to be thinking bunting this ball toward first base.
Carpenter has still not allowed an earned run this year. 21 innings. And McGee bunts that one foul.
Yeah, Joe Thurston right on top of McGee as that ball gets to the hitting zone. Pujols has to stay put at first.
McGee was a September call-up last year, getting his first taste in the big leagues. But coming up through the minor leagues, he always hit in the middle of the order. Counsell takes off, hit and run on. Molina's got him dead to rights. Well, McGee could not make contact. And Molina, one of the best throwing catchers in all of baseball, cuts him down.
Got a quick release right on the money. He's got a terrific throwing arm. Pitch not even close, as if they knew Counsell was going to be running. And Craig barely in your picture.
Counsell gets a piece of Brendan Ryan for his efforts. So the bases wiped clean again. Carpenter back in the windup. And misses with a breaking ball. 2-2 the count on McGee.
Kind of surprised the Brewers took the bunt off. I mean, it was pretty sound strategy to get Counsell into second base with your 2 best hitters coming up.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin text the broadcast booth. Ryan in Adams Friendship wants to know, is there a platoon at third base with the Brewers these days? With Matt Gamble and Bill Hall. The manager will not use that terminology. Down goes McGee. Strikeout number 8 for Chris Carpenter.
That curveball has been a very good pitch. That was actually a changeup. All of a sudden started to throw the circle change, 3rd time through the order. I'm kind of surprised Ken Maka would incorporate the running game at this point in a game like this. I mean, just does not like making outs in the bases. And then you get your leadoff base runner on, first hit of the ball game. You got a guy up there that you would expect to be able to bunt. You get him to second base, and then you have 3 and 4 coming up.
Well, the one thing that makes the hit and run an option is the pitcher throwing in the strike zone a great deal, which Carpenter has. But that was a pitch way out of the strike zone and ended up being a really good pitch for Yadier Molina to throw on. And Braun bounces over to third. That's foul.
You know, desperate times take desperate measures, right? I mean, offense for the Brewers really hasn't done a whole lot since they left Houston. Culminating with this start by Chris Carpenter, the Brewers only have 1 base runner. Try something different. See what'll work.
Milwaukee in that series against the Twins averaging less than 3 runs per game. Braun usually lives for moments like this. Scoreless game in the 7th. And Carpenter bends one in. 2-1 the count as he just missed on the inner half. So starting to feel a lot like the Wainwright-Suppan game, where the Brewers won 1-0 on only 2 hits.
Of course, the Brewers already had a run in. They were playing from out in front, beginning with the second inning. This one here, you never know.
And this man has been the story today. He was perfect through 6, 18 up, 18 down. Now has 8 strikeouts through 6 2/3 innings. And the 2-2 to Braun. Just missed. Carpenter wanted the call. He didn't get it. And I believe this is his first 3-ball count of the day. Two outs. Fielder waits. And down goes Braun. Another breaking ball at 3-2. And Carpenter keeps it rolling. The no-hitter and the perfect game is gone, but the shutout still intact. So you like your pitching, do you? Well, you have gotten what you've asked for today. What a ball game. Gallardo and Carpenter. Giovanni's given up just 1 infield hit. And working on a shutout through 7. Brendan Ryan had the infield hit his last time up. He's set to lead off this 8th inning. And Brendan Ryan at the plate, presented by Wendy's. 1 for 2 so far today.
Not much to choose from.
Not much at the plate going on. But this is the part of the order that Gallardo will try to contain one more time. His pitch count is up there. This will likely be Gallardo's last inning. I think Ken Maka would just as soon score a run in the bottom of the 8th and send out Hoffman to try to close it. How about that recipe? If anybody gets on, Pujols will bat here in this 8th inning. Otherwise, we'll see him in the 9th. Two and nothing on Brendan Ryan. Something to keep an eye on as well. In about 12 to 13 minutes, all across baseball, they will stop the games at 3 p.m. Central and do a moment of silence for Memorial Day.
Man, just hope that Giovanni's able to get through this inning without, having to take a timeout, in between an inning.
Now, the way this game's going, it might be over by then. The 3-1 on the corner. Good pitch. Gallardo's been able to come back in the count on well-located fastballs all day. The few times he's fallen behind.
Yeah, that one right down the middle. I think Brendan Ryan was just trying to get on base. Trying to draw a walk.
3-2. Bouncer. Ryan has great speed. Council's got to hurry. In time. Just got the throw there. And one away here in the 8th. Don't forget this series continues tomorrow. The Cardinals will be here for 3. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap back on Fox Sports Wisconsin tomorrow. Wednesday, no television. You can hear that on Brewers Radio across the radio network with Bob Uecker and Corey Provis. And then we're back on the air Friday. See Jeff Suppan, a 6-0 record against the Cardinals. And he'll be ready to work tomorrow against Adam Wainwright in a rematch of that 1-0 Brewers win in St. Louis. Top of the order, Schumacher. That is 4th at bat against Giovanni Gallardo. Schumacher's 0 for 3. Giovanni falling behind again. He's thrown 114 pitches thus far. The most he's thrown in a game this year, 116 in a win against the Pirates. Ken Maka talks about the pitch count, that it only becomes a factor when you're talking about stressful pitches, when you get behind in the count. So not only does Bill Castro keep the official pitch count, but he also keeps the stressful pitches in that. And Gallardo, for the most part today, has been pretty stress-free on the mound.
Men on base, innings where you would work a little bit extra hard. The Cardinals have had men in scoring position in only 2 innings, the 1st and the 6th. Other than that, it's been clean for Yo.
And a base hit. Schumacher just serves one into left. And the second hit for the Cardinals.
And not a bad hit pitch by Giovanni Gallardo. Check it out. Good curveball down and away, and Schumacher stays right with it. Just tried to put the bat on the baseball. Punches it into left field.
.117 pitches for Gallardo. And here's the kid, Colby Rasmus, with 1 out and a runner at first. Rasmus is a tough hitter to double up. He has great speed. And he gets a bit of a head start out of the left side of the box anyway. Along with his great speed, he has enormous power. He hit one into the Allegheny River in Pittsburgh earlier this year. A 458-foot home run. Gallardo gets ahead of him quickly, 0-2.
And Gallardo, knowing that, has been working him away just about all day. When he's come inside, he's come in off the plate. If you're thinking about a stolen base by Schumacher, he's only stolen 1 this year.
The dangerous Pujols is waiting on deck. 0-2 to Rasmus. Got it. Fastball burned off the edge. And Gallardo punches out number 5 in this game. And 4 of them on called strike 3s.
Boy, what a beautiful pitch. My goodness. He's been doing that all day. Right at the knees, on the corner. Nothing that Rasmus could do but take it and hope it was off the plate. Tremendous fastball today by Yo. Another reason why Schumacher didn't steal.
Bill Castro, the pitching coach, makes the call to the bullpen as Gallardo is in a mano-a-mano with Albert Pujols here with 2 outs.
Yeah, by not running and stealing the bag, first base not open. One of the reasons of many, I'm sure, for Tony La Russa, that he didn't have Skip Schumacher running while Rasmus was at the plate.
Coffee just in case. Well, the rubber meets the road right here. Gallardo and Pujols. And Giovanni's coming right after him, it appears. The danger with walking Pujols here, intentionally or unintentionally, is you put the go-ahead run into scoring position.
And Chris Duncan has already had 2 chances to drive in a man in those situations, has come up empty.
Pujols down the line, foul, just missed it. Gallardo trying to pound him inside. Don't forget Craig Kashawn and Davey Nelson standing by. Brewers Live postgame coming up as soon as we are done. Sponsored by Lincoln Mercury, Telly Hughes with interviews. And a postgame instructional today talking about leadoffs from first base. So if we don't see it in this game, then at least we'll see it in the instructional. Ball and 2 strikes on Pujols. And his best fastball of the day misses down and away. 96 miles an hour from Gallardo.
Yeah, pitch 124 by Gallardo. That's a lot of pitches.
Albert as good as it gets with 2 strikes. Two and 2. He didn't chase. There's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, throw it again. Unless you can put it right on the black. Fastball dangerous right here to Albert. Sitting dead red. You throw that curveball, I think you get him.
Giovanni taking a little extra time. Crowd comes to their feet here at Miller Park. 3 and 2 to Pujols with 2 outs. And Giovanni steps off. Pujols wanted to start over. Perfect. Well, Giovanni Gallardo is striking out Albert Pujols with a runner at first, his 6th strikeout, and certainly his last hitter. Well, all across baseball at this moment, taking a moment of silence, and we'll do the same. Enjoy.
Accepting what is done on this day for all. Thank you.
Memorial Day in Milwaukee. And as baseball steps into the national spotlight, a day we remember those who have lost their lives serving our country, and certainly those serving our country currently and keeping us safe here on the home front. Sellout crowd at Miller Park, 43,032. And it has been quite a ball game. No score. Gallardo against Carpenter, neither one willing to give an inch. And now Carpenter takes the ball for his 8th inning of work, and Rock Carpenter with 9 strikeouts thus far. He's only given up 1 hit.
And he's got 77 pitches, so his pitch count is in pretty good shape going into today's game. Cardinals wanted to keep him between 80 and 90 pitches. I mean, the way he's going, he could pitch 9 innings today. Giovanni Gallardo, on the other hand, outstanding work by Yo. He did throw the curveball in 3-2. Good pitch. You either get him out or you walk him. You don't give him an opportunity to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Yo's got to be done. His pitch count around 130.
Yeah, the most pitches he's ever thrown in a game. And now the Brewers are looking for one bolt, a home run hitting team who has been in a home run drought here lately. Fielder will be followed by Cameron and then Gamble, a couple of left-handed hitters in this 8th inning against Carpenter. Tell you what, there's a little cloud cover up above, which has evened out some of the contrast here. It actually is in a better hitting sideline than it has been all day. Big breaking ball from Carpenter.
No real shadows to speak of, and that's certainly to the benefit of the offense.
1-2 the count. And Prince lays off.
And neither pitcher today has made any mistakes with their off-speed stuff. Curveballs by Carpenter, curveballs by Gallardo. Outstanding. We like a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel from time to time.
2-2 to Fielder. And Prince is down on strikes. Carpenter went with a fastball. It surprised him.
Two-seamer. One of the few two-seamers that he's thrown. That ball started in on Prince, tailed right back over the plate. Check it out. That had good movement on it. Right at the top of the strike zone. We haven't seen too many of those today.
Number 10 for Carpenter. And he has struck out 3 Brewers in a row. And here's Mike Cameron. Cameron homered yesterday in Minneapolis. And he takes a slider for a strike. So Gallardo rings up 6 strikeouts. Giovanni struck out Rasmus and Pujols to end the 8th inning. And now Carpenter with 10. And Cameron belts one into left, a base hit. A line drive hit. Remember, Cameron lined out back in the 5th inning. Probably the best hit ball of the day. This time he finds a hole.
And that was a curveball that stayed up in the strike zone. Cameron might have been going up there looking for that pitch that time because he belted that one into left field. Good wood by Cam.
So each club with 2 hits now. And it's the rookie Matt Gamble in his first home start. Takes a breaking ball away. What a spot for Gamble to be in. Gamble homered against the Cardinals in St. Louis. His first and only career home run has come against the Cardinals. Upstairs, a ball. 2-0 the count on Matt Gamble. And a rare occasion when Carpenter has been behind in a count.
Well, 87 pitches, just about where the Cardinals would like to keep him today. He's going to go over that 90 pitch limit, that's for sure. Well, if you're Matt Gamble, you got to be looking something right down the middle. If you don't get it, take it. A rare opportunity off of Carpenter today.
That's hit well to center field. Rasmus in his tracks will make the catch. And a tough break for the Brewers. That ball was hit right on the screws from Gamble.
Well, he got a good pitch to hit. It was right down the middle. I think Gamble a little upset with himself because he was just a bit out in front. Check it out, right down Main Street, actually not off the end, down on the trademark a bit. A very good pitch to hit.
Well, and with the right-handed Corey Hart scheduled to hit, Ken Maka is going to throw his newest acquisition right into the fire. Frank Catalanato, who's been working out and basically sitting around waiting for a job offer since spring training when he was released by the Rangers. The Brewers signed him, sent him to Double-A Huntsville, where he got 12 at-bats in 3 games. And he steps into a big spot here with 2 outs, facing Chris Carpenter, who already has 10 strikeouts.
And you hardly ever see Corey Hart get pinch hit for. Well, Catalanato has had some pretty good success against Carpenter.
Catalanato against Carpenter in his career is 5 for 11, a .455 batting average. The newest Brewer got here last night. And that one is down the left field line. That is going to be a foul ball. Just missed the line. Would have scored Cameron easily.
Like Catalanato thought that ball was going to drop because he was screaming around first base. That slices it down the left field line. And it was fouled by plenty.
So a ball and a strike on Catalanato.
Ordinarily, this is a guy that will put the ball in play. You can tell by the approach.
A career .292 hitter, Catalanato, and the 1-1. Who tied him up. 1-2 the count.
There's that cut fastball. Starts on the corner, ends up almost hit Catalanato in the back leg.
Cameron at first with good speed. Catalanato fighting, and he pulls one foul. Same pitch, but this time he got a piece of it. Last year, Catalanato hit .274 for the Rangers. Had 3 hits in Double-A Huntsville this year. 2 of those 3 hits were doubles. Was released by the Rangers this spring when they decided to go with Andrew Jones. Catalanato shoots one to third. Thurston knocks it down to throw to first in time. And the inning is over. The Brewers get a hit, but fail to score. And we head to the 9th inning at Miller Park in a scoreless duel. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder. Memorial Day. Hope you're enjoying it with your friends and your families. And wow, what a ball game we have here today, Rock. A pitcher's duel, to say the least, just as we expected today when we hit the air.
And that's going to be up to the bullpens. 2 hits for both clubs, both singles. And I tell you, Giovanni Gallardo and Chris Carpenter, you couldn't imagine that they would be that good. You knew it was going to be a good pitching matchup, but who would have known?
And it's Trevor Hoffman who pitches the 9th in a scoreless tie. So this is the first time we've seen Hoffman in this kind of game before. He did make one appearance that wasn't a save situation. But Hoffman in the game, and Ken Maka is having a discussion here with Chad Fairchild. Not sure what this is about exactly.
Well, now Ed Rapuano is getting involved. I have no idea what the issue could be.
Catalanato stays in the game in right field. He pinch hit for Corey Hart, and Bill Hall comes in at third base for Matt Gamble. And Maka now waiting for an explanation as the 4 umpires come together. The crew chief here is Rapuano. And Fairchild will deliver the news. It has to be a lineup card situation, I would imagine.
Right. Well, there hasn't been any changes made by Tony La Russa yet. The Brewers have made a couple of changes in this inning in particular. I have no idea what it's about.
Well, everybody's got their official lineup card out, so putting Trevor Hoffman, announcing Trevor Hoffman into the game, and Billy Hall at third, and Catalanato stayed in a pinch hit. Obviously, it has to do with the Hall-Hoffman where they hit in the order.
Well, it's straight up, I believe. It's a straight up switch. So Hoffman will bat second in the 9th inning, which means it really doesn't matter because actually it is a double switch. Billy Hall's going to bat 9th. I saw the umpires doing the the plane waving in thing straight
right
up. Apparently that's not the case. Now it is.
All right, well, here we go. Hoffman's a 1-inning guy anyway.
Maybe I should go down and talk to the umpires.
Sounds like an instruction to me.
You know, I think that's what Ken Maka was talking about. The scoreboard apparently had it wrong. I had it right. Hoffman in the 9th spot because he's only going to throw 1 inning anyway. Now we got that set.
Duncan rolls over one. Hoffman on 2 pitches collects his first out. Now, this is something you see a lot of in the National League, Rock, and maybe not necessarily with Trevor Hoffman, because this is the first time he has pitched in a tie ball game. It's only his 2nd appearance in a non-save situation this year.
In a discussion that you don't even have to worry about in the American League. So in the Metrodome, we wouldn't even have had it been messed up, would we?
Metrodome's still bugging you a little bit, huh?
It is. Sour taste. It's okay. I'm just talking, DH, American League. It's a different brand of baseball. It's okay. We're back home again.
You would never make this move on the road. You wouldn't have your closer.
Right.
In a game like this, in a tie game. Popped him up. Stavinoa out to Billy Hall, who stares into the sun. And it's 2 up and 2 down for Trevor Hoffman.
And the reason you wouldn't do it on the road was because in order to win the ball game, your closer would have to throw 2 innings. In this case, Trevor gets through the top of the 9th, could very well win the ball game in the bottom of the 9th. So you might be able to use your closer in a tie game and still get a win without having him to throw 2 innings.
Hoffman's throwing 4 pitches. And 2 up and 2 down. Yadier Molina, the next Cardinal hitter. U.S. Cellular text to vote question. The Brewers win in a landslide. Way to go, Brewer fans. We knew we could count on you.
Well, and the stats back that up.
The better bullpen. The Cardinals bullpen has been pretty good, and their numbers are pretty good, but the Brewers slightly better.
Yeah, the Brewers bullpen 9-4 with a 3.51 ERA. The Cardinals have a bullpen earned run average of 3.82. There it is.
And Milwaukee with 16 saves. 11 of those by Trevor Hoffman, 2nd in the league. Molina skies one to left. Braun drifting back. And Trevor Hoffman with a 7-pitch inning. The stage is set. Can the Brewers win it in the bottom of the ninth? It only takes one. Reset as we head to the bottom of the ninth, and that graphic tells the story. It has been about the starting pitchers. Both are out of this game. Gallardo, 8 shutout innings, just 2 hits. He strikes out 6. Carpenter, 8 innings, 10 strikeouts, the most strikeouts he has had since the 06 season. And Ken Maka just making sure that Chad Fairchild understands his reasoning. Now, most switches like that would be double switches, but Maka did not want that. He does not want Billy Hall, a right-handed batter, batting against Kyle McClellan's second. He wants Hall straight up for Gamble. Hoffman was a one-inning guy anyway, so he's going to have Jody Garrett pinch hit coming up next, I would imagine. Ryan Barton takes over at third base. So neither one of these starters will factor in the decision. It's probably best that way. Thurston goes from third to second base. And Kyle McClellan on to face Kendall, and he lines one right to Ryan for out number 1. So McClellan with 1 out. Schumacher ends up in right field for Stavinoa.
As good as McClellan has been all season long, you saw his numbers in his 21st appearance today. Hey, it's got to look good compared to the way Carpenter threw the baseball.
Jody Garrett making his Brewers debut sees 1 pitch and 2 outs.
You've seen him attack early in the count a lot. You saw it in the Metrodome. 1 pitch, 1 out for Kyle McClellan.
That doesn't give us a lot of time to talk about Jody Garrett. We'd appreciate a little more time to build him up next time.
He'll understand as the season goes on.
Well, Counsell up there with 2 outs. Now, both starting pitchers pitch well enough to win. Neither one of them will win this game, and that's probably the way it should be.
Yeah, shutout baseball ordinarily is going to get you a win.
Counsell through the hole. Pujols knocks it down. The throw is in time. Man, what a play. The Gold Glover at first showed his Gold Glove form right there. Pujols robs Counsell of a hit, and we are headed to extra innings at Miller Park. Still scoreless.
great pitchers duel. We're getting ready for our post-game report. Damian, what have you liked so far in this ball game among the pitching?
Well, first of all, what I've liked is that it really has led up to the hype that what it was supposed to be, a great pitching duel. Chris Carpenter was just outstanding. Giovanni, after the first inning, really settled down and started getting in a lot more first pitch strikes. But boy, they both were very outstanding.
And we're still plotting.
Yes, we are.
On-field instructional as well, maybe based on the outcome of this game. We're going to 10. Let's go back to Brian and Bill.
I think maybe the instructional after the game should be how to manufacture a run. There's a bunt. Villanueva just into the game, fields it, and makes a good throw as Thurston is retired. So Carlos Villanueva, making his 22nd appearance, gets an out with his first pitch.
And Carlos has been getting ahead in the count, and because of that, he's been able to strike out some batters. His last nine strikeouts have come in 4 games. So 22nd appearance, a 4.15 ERA. That ERA continues to go down for Carlos.
Villanueva will now face Brian Barden. Came into the game defensively last inning at third base. On the double switch from La Russa. Barden occupying the pitcher spot in the batting order now. His first at bat, 4 homers, 8 runs batted in. Has a hit this year against Milwaukee in that 3-game series in St. Louis last week. 0-2 the count.
Carlos has had very good command of his curveball and his changeup lately. Getting a lot of strikeouts with those pitches. The curveball, the slider, the changeup, and has been using his fastball very effectively. Off the plate, not necessarily for strikes.
Makes quick work of Brian Barden. Threw him a breaking ball, and it's 2 up and 2 down for Carlos Villanueva.
Yeah, last 5 appearances for Carlos, now 10 strikeouts. Good slider off the outside corner.
Trevor Hoffman worked a scoreless 9th through just 6 pitches. Villanueva has the first 2 out for Brendan Ryan. Batting 9th in the Cardinal order. Top of the order would be next.
Kind of interesting to watch Ken Maka use his bullpen. He's going backwards today. You got the closer, now you got the setup men coming up. And the deeper this game goes, then you get your long men involved.
Right. Law of diminishing returns.
The guys that can eat up more than 1 inning.
Maka's been very good handling and managing the bullpen this year. And it helps when your relievers are all throwing strikes and getting outs like these guys are. 0-2 the count on Brendan Ryan.
A lot of off-speed pitches, and once in a while you have to come inside.
It's nothing but strikes for Carlos Villanueva. 6 pitches, 6 strikes. And the 0-2. Did he go? No, he didn't. Paul Nart says he was able to check his swing.
Pretty close.
You see it called both ways. Ryan is 1 for 3. Had the only hit against Gallardo. He singled in the 6th. One of the 2 hits allowed. Laid off a good slider that time. 2-2. Each club with only 2 hits allowed. Gallardo with 8 shutout, 2 hits, 6 strikeouts. Carpenter 8 shutout, 2 hits, 10 strikeouts.
Where was that? I'll tell you, where's this pitch? Where's this? How's this not a strike? Low? I guess.
Three and 2. Top of the order next for St. Louis. This is the man you want right here. And Ryan swings and misses. Kindle slaps the tag on him. A terrific changeup from Villanueva. 1, 2, 3. And the big boys are coming up. We head to the bottom of the 10th. McGee, Braun, and Fielder.
Well, J.J. Hardy, Northwestern Mutual, and Chevrolet invites you to drop off new or gently used baseball equipment May 29th through 31st. Get a J.J. Hardy pin with every donation. Call 902-4000 for details.
Casey McGee leads it off. It bounces off the glove of Barton. And McGee is safe at first. And the winning run is aboard to start the 10th inning.
Now new into the ball game, goes right off the glove. Got to believe that's an error. Has not been a decision made on the scoring, but it really doesn't matter. The Brewers have their leadoff hitter aboard.
Barton came into the game on the double switch last inning and commits the error to start the 10th. Quick trip to the mound for Cardinal pitching coach Dave Duncan. And the Brewers have the men they want coming to the bat.
Well, Duncan's going to leave McClellan in. You got a left-hander loosening up when Prince Fielder walks to the plate. Really can't imagine what this conversation could be about, because there's no way Ryan Braun's up there to bunt.
Saw Dennis Reyes, the lefty, getting loose for Fielder. Braun just soon ended right here and now with a long ball. The last time the Brewers went into extra innings in a scoreless game was right here at Miller Park last April against the Florida Marlins back in '08. You just don't see many scoreless games in this day and age. And now the Brewers are set up. Ryan Braun steps in. 0 for 3 against Carpenter. Facing Kyle McClellan with a game on the line. And Braun sends one back up the middle. It's off the glove of McClellan. Ryan barehands and gets the out. Man, what a play that was.
That might have hurt him. I don't think it much matters. Although now the Cardinals have the opportunity to walk Prince Fielder intentionally. Right off the glove. Nice barehand play by Brendan Ryan to get Brian at first base. Good hands.
Goes as a 1-6-3. And the Fielder will be walked intentionally. It's going to leave it up to Mike Cameron with McGee in scoring position.
I think McClellan a little bit upset with himself, because I think if he doesn't touch that baseball, it's a double play. It's kind of a tough decision to make when you see that ball come right back to you.
Fielder drawing his 4th intentional walk of the year. He's among league leaders in walks overall.
Well, check it out. If McClellan doesn't get a piece of it, it's probably a double play. It's going to go right to Thurston, the second baseman. They probably would have been able to turn too.
Instincts take over. Even if McClellan gets it in his glove, he's got a good chance to start a 1-4-3 double play. As it was, it bounced off the glove. McGee to second, and here is Cameron. A base hit will win it for the Brewers. Best outfield arm is in right with Schumacher. Cameron has ended a game 7 times in his career, but it has been 3 years since his last one. There's a ground ball to Pujols. Going to second for 1. The turn, and it's actually cut off by Albert. The second out is recorded, but the winning run now at third base from Casey McGee.
Well, good slider by McClellan that time. Had Cam way out in front. A little squibber off the end of the bat. Pujols making sure of 1. And just so the pitcher doesn't have to deal with it, he catches it.
Cameron reaches on a fielder's choice. 2 outs in the inning.
Wild pitch looked pretty good right here.
Bill Hall. He has struggled more than any Brewer hitter in the last 2 weeks. And what a spot for him to be in. That's the one great thing about this game. It gives you plenty of chances at retribution. Cameron takes off, uncontested, no stolen base. But it does eliminate a force out at second.
And you're Casey McGee. You got to get a big secondary lead. Anything pops away from Molina, try and score.
On the corner, a strike. Slider from McClellan. Hall has had a history ending ball games himself. Nobody needs it more than Bill Hall for his confidence sake.
Well, nobody needs it more than the Brewers right now.
Hall did not start. This is his first at bat. Came in defensively for Geller in the 9th. And he lines one into right center field. This is going to get down. And that's your ball game. Billy Hall has won it. Bill Hall delivers an RBI single, and the Brewers win it 1-0. What a ball game today.
What a beautiful swing by Billy Hall, not trying to pull it, taking it to the opposite field. That wasn't a bad pitch by McClellan, went right with it into right center. It'll go down as a single and an RBI for Billy Hall. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, the last at bat here today at Miller Park.